Good evening and welcome to the 188th episode of Talk the Book, the book review program of AP State Council of Higher Education. For this 188th episode, we have with us Miss Lahari Alavur. She will be reviewing the book of Ruskin Bond, The Blue Umbrella. The Blue Umbrella is one of the heart-touching story given by Ruskin Bond. We all know that Ruskin Bond is very famous for his literary arts, which are heart-touching and which are near to the real life. One such work of Sri Ruskin Bond is The Blue Umbrella. This Blue Umbrella is being brought to us by Lahari Alavur, a postgraduate in English literature, having a flair for English language teaching and also for the literary works. Lahari had chosen to be the research assistant in one of the projects of Indian Council for Science Research. Presently, the research is being conducted at DKW College, Nellore. Ms. Lahari done her Master of Arts in English Literature from Sri Venkateswara University, Tirupati, and to her achievement, she has presented several research papers and famous articles in various seminars and in various workshops. And also, she is a district level awardee of elocution competitions. This flair for elocution, this flair for English language makes Lahari to stand out among others, and she is now before us to review the book, The Blue Umbrella by Ruskin Bond. Over to you, Lahari.
Thank you so much, sir. I'm so pleased to have this beautiful introduction about me that helps to start a good and positive beginning throughout this program. And good afternoon, everyone. I'm extremely happy today that I'm here on this prestigious program of book reviewing. And first of all, I would like to thank Andhra Pradesh State Council of Higher Education for bringing this valuable as well as thoughtful program of book reviewing, where people narrate and share their opinions as well as thoughts about various books. And it's very appreciative that this program is conducted in both languages, Telugu as well as in English, for the convenience of the people and to make the languages more easier. And this program is conducted throughout every week of every month. And now I would like to extend my thanks to respectful principal of Dodla Kausalyamma Government Degree College for Women Autonomous Nellore, Dr. G. Giri sir, for believing in me and choosing me for this project, for this program. And my gratitude for my project director, Dr. S. Vinyavali ma'am, and the lecturer in English, and who has been guiding me to give my best in this project from last 1 week. Thank you so much, ma'am, for your suggestions as well as help. So, keeping these things aside, I would like to extend and appreciate the efforts that has been put by Andhra Pradesh State Council of Higher Education for bringing this prestigious project of book reviewing. Uh, because as we know, nowadays, book reading is becoming, however, very tough for everyone. It can be because we have no time or we are scheduled with so many daily activities that we should do on a limited time. So whatever we are doing today is completely through the virtual forms only, like reading the books. We are reading books on online platforms. We are reading the newspapers on online platforms, as well as we are writing diaries on online apps. So we are not using or doing any of these things that I mentioned earlier through a physical form. Previously, people used to write diaries on a physical book, and they used to read newspapers, as well as they used to read various books through the physical form. So they used to enjoy the format of reading. But so as I said, the times have been changed. The competition we have made us to run towards the time, to chase ourselves. So as a part of that, we are forgetting the beauty of reading and enjoying the books. But this initiative by Andhra Pradesh State Council Education is very appreciative because it's bringing the book review as well as book reading opportunity through the virtual form. Why book reading is important, or else why books are important? What is the role of a book in everyone's life? First of all, I would like to mention books are the of our emotions. They are the bridge that fill the gap in our mind and the soul and brings us together as a whole soul. So they books tell us what we are or who they place us in the society that we belong or where we belong. They help us how to be and how not to be. They teach us what we are and who we are. So, how to deal with a thing and how not to deal with a thing. How to accept the failures as well as how to uh, uh, manifest the scars we have. Sometimes through the books, we know the characters of other lives, and sometimes we become the characters to others. The characters that we get through the books inspire us a lot. They tell us how to deal with failures, and it also teaches us very important life lesson that life is not same for everyone. Life can be difficult, life can be different. All we have to do is life, and we have to face the challenges and we have to work on ourselves. So these are the things that books can portray. So it's a very valuable and appreciative thing done by the Andhra Pradesh State Council of Higher Education. And the book I'm today going to review is The Blue Umbrella by Ruskin Bond. Here I'm sharing the screen. So uh, this is a book I'm going to review by Ruskin Bond. So before getting into the story, we have to go through the objectives. I would like to share the objectives. So first one is it promotes empathy and kindness. So through this short story or novel, short novel, we are going to know how Binya Devi, the protagonist of the story, promotes empathy and kindness. Empathy is where we can see the feelings and situations and difficulties of other people, putting ourselves in their places. So, Binya, being the protagonist of the story, puts herself in the shoes of Ram Bharosa. She understands the pains and also the difficult situations that Ram Bharosa is facing throughout the story, and how she sacrifices her most important and the most adored thing for Ram Bharosa, and how she is kind to him in the end of the story. Secondly, how the story highlights simplicity and contentment. So, the story tells us how we can prioritize the simple living. as well as how we can appreciate the beauty of the nature and how to prioritize our feelings as well as emotions rather than the materialistic things. If we see uh, many of us in our real lives, or even we can see in our stories, we prioritize materialistic life rather than the true emotions of people. Many of the times we forget materials are just there to please ourselves, but we are not there to please the materials. And coming to the next point, foster moral lessons. So the moral lessons, the moral teachings that we learn from Binya as well as Ramborasa. First of all, we what we learn from Binya Devi is that materialistic life does not give you the true happiness. What really gives you is to accept the reality and value the emotions of people. And what moral lesson we learn from Ram Bharosa is that we should never degrade ourselves for materialistic things. What really important is how we value others and their emotions. And the next point is addressing the social dynamics. So this short story throws light on the rural life, the village life, as well as um the community interactions. Ruskin Bond beautifully explains how jealousy, gossip, as well as competition can have a impact on the lives of the people living in the society in the story. So when people are jealous of others, and when there is so much of place for the gossip, and when people compete with each other and chase things, what happens? Which kind of situations we can find in the society? Like, are they peaceful situations or they problematic one? So we will come to know all these things by the end of the story. And another objective that I'm going to share with you through this lesson or the story is encourage personal growth. So we will definitely learn to encourage personal growth by end of the story, and I'm very damn sure about it. As all of us know, we have been through so many situations where we face jealousy and humility. So jealousy is one of the strongest emotions that each and every human faces. It's also possible for animals and other creatures on earth, but coming to humans, it's a more. We become jealous of others' success and others, and like accidentally or unconsciously. We never know when it happens. Then how to control us? Like when someone is successful, yeah, they are successful because of their hard work. Because of their hard work as well as because of their time taking the works they have done. But sometimes we have worked so hard to achieve the same, but maybe then we couldn't achieve, and someone gets it easily or because of their hard work, then we become jealous of them. So how to overcome this? How to overcome jealous and how to overcome humility? We have been into many humiliating situations. We take them by choice, or sometimes they happen accidentally, or however what or whatever. We are part of humility, and then we become depressed. We choose uh, the path of not being identified. We close the doors of opportunities. We feel we are not okay with the process we are going. We tag ourselves as a failures. But through this story, we will definitely know how Binya overcomes uh, all these things. Ram Bharosa becomes jealous and how he overcomes such things, as well as the humility he had faced, and how he goes through this process and how he overcomes. So, and one more important objective is that celebrating the innocence of childhood. Ruskin Bond is a great writer of uh, of all his works, as we know, and he has been the beloved children's writer. He has written many books and short stories, essays for children. So he is a master for the mind of a child. He knows how to deal with the child. So in this story, we are going to know and enjoy the innocence, the curiosity, as well as the life of a child. That is through the eyes of Binya and through Binya as well as Biju, Vijay, and Rajaram. So we are going to know about it. And last but not least, through this novel, Ruskin Bond is promoting environmental awareness. So what he has done here means he has set the entire story in a picture square of Himalaya Pradesh, place, and promoting the importance of protecting the beauty of the nature as well as living in harmony with the nature. How to love the nature, how to save the nature, and he is emphasizing that we are an integral part of nature. If something would happen to nature, it will happen to us. And he also states we learn so many things from the nature. Nature is a mirror of us. Okay, so these are the objectives that we are going to know from this novel by Ruskin Bond. And now, after this, we are going to know the elements of the novel. So the title is The Blue Umbrella, and the its author is Ruskin Bond. He has written this novel in the year of 1980, and it has been published by Rupa Publications India Private Limited in the year of 1992. And its genre is short and humorous. It's a very entertaining, amusing novel for the ages of all. It connects each and every person and it brings them back to their childhood days. And its adaptations, it has been adapted by Vishal Bharadwaj. He's a film director, and this movie has been directed and released in the year of 2005 by Vishal Bharadwaj, and it has won a prestigious award in the year of 2006, that is a Golden Lotus Award in the category of Best Film of Children, Best Film of Children's category. So now we are going to know about the writer, the creator of this novel, that is Sri Ruskin Bond. So Ruskin Bond, it's not just a name, it's an emotion for so many children as well as the inner child and each and every book lover, even everyone. So Ruskin Bond is known as India's William Wordsworth. He has written more than 500 short stories, essays, and novels, and all of his essays and works reflect his childhood days, his childhood experiences. All his novels have great share about animals. They explain more about animals and more about the nature, as well as his strong connection that he has with the places like Dehradun, Ma- and as well as Himalayas, and the childhood that he has gone through. So all his works explain about the childhood experience that he had and the love and caring and respect that he has for animals and also nature, and his a strong connection with his family, friends, everything. And Ruskin Bond is an Anglo-Indian writer, so who has been considered as a major writer in English literature. He has done many works. So now coming to, we are going to have a short and brief intro about himself through the different phases of his life. First of all, we are going to know about his birth. So his birth details date back to, he was born on 19th May in the year of 1934 in a military hospital in Punjab State Agency, British India, in Kaushala. So his father is Abre Alexander Bond. He was a Royal Air Force officer, and he has also worked as a tutor to the prince, who has taught languages. And coming to his mother is Edith Clark. So he had two siblings. His sister name is Ellen Bond, and his brother's name is William Bond. So he is coming to his bond with his parents. As we can say that when he was 8 years old, his mother got separated from his father due to various reasons, and also remarried a Punjabi Hindu by name Hari. So we can see that his bonding with his mother was not that good. He had faced many problems with his mother. Maybe there was a very little affection between them. He didn't share a great bonding. And he also commented in one of his interviews that his mother laughed very hard when he stated his opinion that he wanted to become a writer. In reply, what she said is very shocking. She had stated that your good handwriting is only a matter of you being a clerk in an office of a lawyer, not more than that. So that's how his relation was with his mother. And coming to his bond with his father was one of the most important person who truly cared and loved him unconditionally. So his bond with his father was undivided, and it was his father who truly inspired him to write stories and also to have great understanding about himself. So when it was very painful for Ruskin Bond when he came to know that his father was no more uh, in his very early childhood. He was broken into pieces. But however, later gathering himself by strong pieces and also keeping his father's memories live throughout his stories even today. And coming to the next part, the pillar in his life. So, as we know, as I stated, his mother was not a great support for him, and his father was one of them, the supporters. And another most important pillars that he was blessed to have in his life, who supported him to be a writer, to be a wonderful writer, is none other than his grandfather as well as his grandmother. His grandmother is described in the words of Ruskin Bond as a very courageous woman and very unique one. So Ruskin Bond always states that his grandmother is very courageous woman as well as the unique one because she could climb the trees even at the age of 62. She is the one who made him to become a writer, to write stories and to read stories. And she was the best storyteller for him even today. He never forgets the moments that he has with his grandmother. And I can definitely say that in each and every story that we go through by Ruskin Bond is always presented mainly through the character of a grandmother. It can be anyone, it can be any story like the angry river, the cherry tree, the room on the roof, everything. And coming to his grandfather, one interesting factor about his grandfather is Ruskin Bond had never seen his grandfather truly or physically because his grandfather was dead even before Ruskin Bond was born. So, how could his grandfather be such a lively example for all his stories? Yeah, it's a possible it was happened only through the stories of his grandmother about his grandfather. So Ruskin Bond's grandmother shared many stories about his grandfather, and we have to appreciate and accept that. As he stated, he learned how to respect and value the nature and animals only from his grandfather. So whatever he learned, whatever important teachings he has gone through in his life is mainly because of the stories from his grandmother. So that's how he chooses to express the life lessons to people through stories. So we can understand how he became a very good storyteller. And now coming to his education part. So Ruskin Pond has started his education at Joseph's Convent School in Shimla, as well as at Bishop's Cotton School. After his education, completing his education, he relocated to London, so where he worked as a clerk. So after working as a clerk in London, as well as becoming and working as a freelancing writer, he couldn't do or he couldn't continue with any higher education. That's what we know about his education. And here he truly inspires us, though he's limitedly educated, but his knowledge, his experience made many educated people more valuable, like to have more knowledge. And now coming to the foundation for his writing. So the foundation for his writing can be his childhood experiences. He stated many times that whatever he was inspired to write is only because of his childhood experiences. One of the interviews that he stated as he was a very lonely child. He had a very bitter childhood experience. So that made him to know child better. So because of the childhood experiences he had in his life, that helped him to understand a child better, to write from the corner of a child, to write from the mindset of a child. So we all his working experiences in his novels experience the childhood, the innocence, the curiosity throughout the lenses of nature and animals, and how to protect them and how not to harm them. And his works, as I stated earlier, he has written more than 500 novels, short stories, essays, and so many. So his most interesting topics about his writings or works. He penned his first work, The Room on the Roof, when he was 17 years old. It is an autobiography of Ruskin Bot. The shocking thing is that for this work, he won the most prestigious award, the John's, John's Levelis Prize Award. So it was the most prestigious award at this time. And this work got published in the year of 1954. So whatever works he has written, many of the works are still top sellers even today. That's a Tree, The Angry River, The Room on the Roof, The Rusty, The Boy from the Mountains, and Our Trees Still Grow in Dehra, The Night Train at Deloy. All these works, all these works are manifesting or like they are the eye feast for the lovers of the nature, for the children and the inner child in us. So now coming to his writing style, I'm a great lover of his writing style. I should accept it. Anyone can become. So his writing style is all about the Anglo-Indian experiences. It portrays the changing political, social, as well as cultural aspects of India, because he has been through the post-colonial as well as post-independence phase of India. So in many of his works or novels, we can see the war situations, like the tiger tunnel, or the uh, the boy from the Rusky, the boy from the mountains, everywhere. And many essays about his personal life portrays the wars, as well as how a child or a person has to leave his native place or the place that he has been rooted just because of the wars. How wars divide the friendship of great friends, and how life becomes as a memory for everyone when war happens. Because he has experienced these war situations in his real life, and he truly portrays the impact of a war on a person's life. And now coming to the awards, he has received many awards. He has been the receiver, the awardee of Sahitya Academy Award, and he has received Padma Shri Award, and he has also received the prestigious Padma Bhushan Award. As I mentioned earlier, he was also the receiver of John Lively's Rice Prize Award at the very age of 17 years, which is not a small thing for a person to achieve that kind of greatness. So these are some of the words that we have talked earlier. So character sketch of Ruskin Bond. So what we learn or what we can know about Ruskin Bond. Ruskin Bond tells us that inner child in every human is very precious. And secondly, how to value one's emotions and feelings over the materialistic things. He also emphasizes the importance of valuing and adoring the roots, that we should never forget our roots. And that's what we learn from the writings as well as the personality of Ruskin Bond, that we should never sacrifice the inner child in us, and we always have to value the emotions and feelings over the materialistic things. And our emotions are the writers of our lives. Emotions are the one who write our destiny, our feelings, and everything. And we should never forget the roots that we had. And we always have to be respectful and protect the nature as well as the animals. So now coming to the Blue Umbrella. Blue Umbrella is a very, very eye-catching short story by Ruskin Bond. It's a short novel, not very more than a short story and less than a novel. So now we are going to know about the character sketch of the novel. First of all, we'll go through Binya. Binya, known as Binya Devi. So, Binya Devi is a 10 years old girl. She has a very pink cheeks and dark eyes. She has her hair is tied in a piggy tail, and she's a very brave and independent girl, self-resistant as well as very kind. She has a very fair skin, pink cheeks, and she wears black glass bangles and has a necklace with a pendant of leopard's claw that she considers lucky, as well as which is given so much of value in the society where she is staying. And coming to another character, Biju, known as Vijay, the only elder brother of Binya Devi. So he's very supportive and caring. He cares so much for his sister, as well as whenever she's in a problem, he just goes there and fights for her, whatever situation it is. He just supports her. And Ram Barosa. Ram Barosa is known as the protagonist of the story. He's we can say about him the few factors like through the words, Middle East, greedy, defrauding, and very cunning mentality, we can describe Ram Barosa. So this character is available in day-to-day life that we always find. And another main protagonist of the story is a Blue Umbrella. The main thing, the main character, the most beautiful one, like a silky flower. that catches, that steals the heart of our protagonist, Binya Devi, and which makes Rambarosa the villain of the story, and how Binya fights for the blue umbrella. We are going to know. And still, we have some minor characters. They are Neelu and Gauri. Neelu and Gauri are the two companions that Binya has. They are cows, the beautiful cows that Binya has, and the only companions for her. Whenever Viju is not there, she spends most of her time with these companions. And another character we have today in the story is Rajaram. Rajaram can be described by the words tall, clever, and sometimes cunning. So he's a very tall person and very clever. He uses the situation of Rambarosa to benefit himself, as well as cunning. How he cheats his best friend's sister is going to be somewhat dramatic. So we are going to know about it. And the tourist is so the story definitely begins with the tourist. So how they portray it in the story, we are going to know. They can be described by the words fascinating. So how they are fascinated or attracted by the beauty of the pendant that Binya has, by the leopard's claw. And coming to the lost character, but not least, the villagers. The village people are the most entertaining people that we are going to see. They entertain us from the beginning to the end of the story through their emotions. How they get surprised when they see the blue umbrella because that is the prettiest umbrella in the village, and also how uh, they get jealous over having over Binya for having that blue umbrella. Okay, as well as how they pass judgments for Ram Bharosa for being the most critical one. So the story setting is set in Garbal village in Himachal Pradesh, and it is surrounded by Binya Devi. So now we are going to know the story through 5 stages. First one is the tourists and the blue umbrella. And the second phase, the fascination to have the blue umbrella. And the next one is the quest to get the blue umbrella. And the fourth one, the dilemma, the most interesting plot, the most interesting part of the plot, where Binya Devi gets into the trouble or confusion and has a fight with herself. And the fifth one, a gesture of kindness, where the story comes to an end. So that's how we are going to know the story. So first of all, welcome to the journey of the blue umbrella. So the tourist is and the blue umbrella. So once there is a little girl by name Binya Devi. She's a 10 years old girl, so she has a very pink cheeks, round and dark eyes, fair skin, and her hair is tied in a pigtail. So we can imagine by these words we can imagine how beautiful and innocent she is. And she wears black, what are they called? The bangles, glass bangles, and she wears a very simple necklace with a thread, and that necklace has a pendant of a leopard's claw that she believes is very truly lucky charm for herself, as well as that is considered as a very valuable thing in the society she is living. So she has a brother by name Vijay, known as Biju. So he helps her whenever she needs and supports her. And she has two companions, as I said earlier, they are cows, Neelu and Gauri. So how the plot begins means one day, Nilu is missing. One of the cow is missing. So whenever she wants to feed these cows, she goes to the tops of the mountains. Most interesting fact about her, it can be ironic if you say, she's not scared by the darkness in the mountains or on the top of the mountains or the dark clouds that which pass throughout her throughout the day. But she's very scared and afraid of the people in the bazaar or the crowd in the bazaar. That's most ironic thing, right? So she's more connected with the nature rather than with the people who are different from the nature. So one day, one of the cows are missing. So Binya goes to search for it, and then as a part of that, On the top of the mountains, she hears the sounds, the voices of the picnickers, people who came for a picnic. And then she finds them, so she goes near to them, and then she falls in love with the blue umbrella. The moment sees, she just becomes mesmerized. Some spell happened for her by the umbrella. The emotion that he has for the umbrella at the very beginning is invaluable. Just like how a child falls in love with a candy or the manifestation the child has for a candy. So, in the meantime, one of the men from the picnic finds the necklace of Vinya interesting, and he asks her to give the necklace. In return, he says he gives 2 rupees. Vinya says it's 5 rupees. And then he is ready to give 5 rupees. But however, Vinya is very scared to give the pendant or necklace. Then the man from the picnic understands and asks, what do you want in return for the necklace? Then she immediately, without thinking, she just places her hand at the umbrella. So she gives her necklace for umbrella. She leaves her lucky charm. So we can understand the importance of blue umbrella in her life. So after getting it, her life changes. She manifests each and every moment of her life, daily life with the umbrella, wherever she goes. It can either be a market, it can be either be with the Nilu or Gauri to the top of the hills, wherever she goes. She just goes to the places that she goes every day only with umbrella. Even when it's not needed for her to use the umbrella, she uses it. And she is criticized for this act by her mother and her brother, but she doesn't care about it. As I said, she fell in love with the blue umbrella. One day, when it is happening, suddenly, because of a strong storm, the umbrella is stuck in a cherry tree. As I mentioned before in the characters of Vinya, she is very self-resistant. She fights so much for the umbrella, she gets injured. We should understand she's just 10 years old. So when a kid gets injured, they start crying. But here Binya fights for the umbrella. Instead of the physical injuries that she has, she doesn't care about them. She just fights for the umbrella and she gets it back. So we can see the consistency she has for the umbrella, which is very powerful. And now we are going to so we have already gone through the fascination with the blue umbrella that Pinya has. Now we are going to know the twist to get the blue umbrella. Who has a twist to get the blue umbrella? It's none other than Ram Barosa. So now there is a shop at Teri bus stop, and this shop is owned by Ram Barosa. There he sells tea, coffee, and toffees, chocolates, and he's a greedy person. So we should understand each and every bus stops at his shop. So he's the richest person in the village by means of income. But still, I have to mention that he's a very greedy person and he's a very defrauding person. He charges extra from the people for the things he says, as well as when people are not able to pay him back for the things they bought from him, he takes those things as an opportunity and charges extra from the customers, even if they are kids. One day, when Binya as well as her brother come to the shop of Rambarosa, he falls in love with the blue umbrella. He just becomes mesmerized, just like Binya had gone through. He also goes through the phase. He falls in love with the blue umbrella and he decides to get it. So he first places a 5 rupees coin for the blue umbrella. And Binya nods like, no, she's not ready for that. And then he comes to 10 rupees. However, she says it's a 15 rupees, though she is not really willing to sell it because she knows he won't really give for 15 rupees, or else she knows that he's a very greedy personality, so he's not ready with that. And before anything else, I have to mention the blue umbrella is not like before. It means the blue umbrella has gone through the rainy seasons, the summer seasons, and its beauty is fading away day by day. But still, Ram Barosa is in love with the blue umbrella because it's not only the beauty that attracted him, but the respect or the special treatment that Binya is getting through the blue umbrella in the society from the village. So he decided to have that kind of appreciation from the village people, and he decided to get it at any cost. And he has been waiting for the moment to have that blue umbrella in a faithful way or in a cheating way. However, but he's just waiting for the chance. And Binna is not at all ready to lose it. So as the time passes, we will have one more character, that is Rajaram, the friend and classmate of Biju or Vijay, the brother of Binya. So understanding he works as an employee in Ram Barosa's shop. So understanding that his master has a very, very eye-catching moment for the blue umbrella, he decided to steal the blue umbrella from Binya and has a deal with Ram Barosa. First, Rajaram asks for 10 rupees, but however, greedy person Ram Barosa, we know, he fixes it for 5 rupees. So Rajaram goes after Binya, where Binya goes for a walk on the top of the hill, where she saw the blue umbrella for the first time. As she was all alone, Rajaram steals the blue umbrella from Binya. It was a very sad moment. She cries and runs and chases Rajaram very hardly. But however, as I said, he's very cunning and clever. He ran away from her from the by taking the blue umbrella. Then she collapses there. She feels very devastated. There comes our hero, Vijay. So the brother of Binya, as I said, he's a very supporting and caring personality. He chases Rajaram like a tiger and he catches him. He takes away the blue umbrella and again gives it back to his sister, which made Binya to be happy again. So this news is spread over all the society, and the villagers came to know about the bad deeds done by Rajaram. So as a factor of this, is a fame which is not really good before, again came to the degrading factor. Everyone started hating him, passing judgments about him, and they stopped buying things from his shop. They went to for other shops which are 5 miles away from their destination. So as a part of this, as a part of the humiliation that Ram Bharosa has gone through, he became very depressed. He became depressed and he's not able to show his face to anyone. Though he's not a good person, but getting washed is something different from being bad. So whenever Binya passes by his shop, she felt somewhat guilty. Like she's not okay to pass the shop of Ram Bharosa with that blue umbrella. So what she does is she closes the blue umbrella whenever she goes, and that's how. And finally, she has a dilemma. She has a dilemma of whether she has to submit it to Ram Bharosa. By giving it to Ram Bharosa, can she make him happy or not? So finally, putting herself in the shoes of Ram Bharosa, she feels that she has to give that most beautiful and adored blue umbrella to Ram Bharosa to make him happy, to get back his name in the society. So this is a story of blue umbrella, and we have gone through the themes of kindness, how Binya is very kind to Ram Bharosa, how she changed herself to be kind for Ram Bharosa, and jealous. How Ram Bharosa as well as the village people are jealous of the blue umbrella that Binya has, and the dilemma that Binya faces, whether she has to give it the blue umbrella to Ram Bharosa or not. Why should she make him happy? So, and another one is power of redemption, the self-efficiency and self-resistance she has. That she has a pout with the nature and with the people for Blue Umbrella she likes. So, beginning and the ending. How Binya was in the beginning. She was very devoted towards the blue umbrella in the beginning, but later she had just sacrificed it for Ram Barosa. And the blue umbrella, the beauty of the blue umbrella is a fading from the beginning to the ending. Vijay is very stable from the beginning to the ending. He's always supporting and caring. Ram Barosa, who was very cunning in the beginning, changed a lot in the ending. We can say that by stating this statement. In the end, when Binya gives him the blue umbrella as a return, he gives the most valuable necklace with a pendant of bear's claw. So he changes himself and feels very gratitude for Binya's action. And the villagers, they have been the most entertaining people throughout the story. First of all, they are very surprised by the blue umbrella that Pinya has, and then later they get jealous, as well as finally they judge the people. So this is the beginning and ending of these characters of our story. And then my personal comments coming to the story, what I learned. So possession. First of all, the feeling to own something can take people to any extent. It can be a good extent or it can be a negative one. Like the feeling for Binya to own the blue umbrella made her to lose the most important, valuable, lucky charm, the pendant, the necklace with the pendant of leopard's claw, as well as the possession, the desire of Ram Barosa to own the blue umbrella made him to lose his fame in the society. And also now coming to feelings. So through this book, I came to know feelings are the most important, powerful factors that decide our destiny and actions. Our feelings decide our actions. What we feel, we definitely do that. So if we control our feelings, we can be very good. Otherwise, we will be into trouble. So that's how Ram Barosa has kept himself into the trouble by not controlling his feelings for the blue umbrella. And the another factor, eternal and internal beauty. So as we come to know, beauty of the blue umbrella is not forever. Only the character, the beauty of our internal character is forever. Materialistic things are not going to last forever. And acceptance. So when we accept and forgive people, we can lead a happy and peaceful as well as calm life. So when Vinya accepts and forgives Rambarosa, she has become calmer, came out of the depression, and made him a beautiful and happy person again. And change, the most important factor that I understood, change is common in each and every person's life. This change can lead to good or bad. But however, we should always welcome the change. And once again, by the end of the program, I would like to thank Andhra Pradesh State Council of Higher Education for giving this wonderful opportunity uh, to the younger generation like us to share our opinions. And it means a lot for me.
Thank you, Lahari, for bringing us in the most lucid way the humanistic short story of Ruskin Bond, The Blue Umbrella. Maybe your degree in literature, English literature, would have given you an added advantage of bringing out the essence of the story, beginning with Ruskin Bond's the life, his history, and also his literary works, followed by nicely you have put in whatever all the characters that are involved in the short story, their involvement, their type of mentality as envisaged by you, and it has everything has been put in place, and really this is a very good review in the recent times. So once again, on behalf of AP State Council of Higher Education and behalf of all the viewers, we thank you very much and wish you all the best in all your future endeavors.
Thank you, sir.
Dear viewers, let us meet again next Friday with a Telugu book review. Till then, be safe. Thank you. Thank you very much.